Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So we have Mayweather versus Pacquiao, Money versus Pac-Man, Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao. And this is a huge fight. But people wonder what's the big hoopla about, and I'll explain. Now, when we look at divisions, right now we're looking at BoxRec, we're looking at the welterweight division, okay? And the top two welterweights in the world at present are Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Now, you guys say, well, how are they the top two welterweights in the world? Well, it's based on their records. BoxRec is able to, through a computer, calculate the number one straight through to the 100th ranked person in the division based on a point scoring system. But not to go into too much detail, it has to do with your record, your wins, your losses, etc. How many fights you've had, how many reputable fights you've had, etc. But suffice it to say, when that is worked out, very non-biasedly, Floyd Mayweather is the number one ranked welterweight in the world, and Manny Pacquiao is the number two. And you just have to look at their boxing records, and you can see them right in front of you here. Now, that has happened throughout history. We have had number one and number two ranked people in the division fighting one another. But what is very rare, and what makes this fight so special, is the fact that when we look at pound for pound boxers, fighters, champions, this is what makes it so rare. When we look at Floyd Mayweather, he is the number one pound for pound champion in the world today. Second is Vladimir Klitschko, and third is Manny Pacquiao, again based on their records. It's very rare that the number one pound for pound champion fights the number two, mainly because, or number three for that matter, all because generally pound for pound champions, highly ranked pound for pound champions, are not found in the same weight class. So this is extremely rare what's happening, where Floyd Mayweather is fighting the number three pound for pound champion, only displaced by Vladimir Klitschko and Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. And that's something that doesn't happen every day. That happens once every so often. It's very, very rare. And the major reason why Manny Pacquiao is a pound for pound champion as he is because he's a world champion. And on top of that, his record, he's an 8-division world champion. He has beaten people that he shouldn't have beaten because he's supposed to be so many weight classes smaller than them. And on top of that, he has had remarkable, exciting fights, only having 5 losses in 60 plus fights. That's amazing. Manny Pacquiao is the definition of I can do something. The guy has beaten all odds. Where people thought he would lose fights, he dominated and won, making him very sensational and someone that everybody wants to rally around. And on top of that, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not just the number one pound for pound fighter in the world and has beaten a plethora of champions, but he has also never been dominated or beaten in his whole entire career, which is an amazing feat based on the amazing competition he has faced throughout his career, now including Manny Pacquiao. And if he does beat Manny Pacquiao, it will completely shut out a lot of people in this era from ever calling themselves pound for pound greats, because Manny Pacquiao is the number 3 pound for pound champion in the world. The only other person Floyd would have to fight to really solidify his place would be Vladimir Klitschko, and he just so happens not to be in his division. So you have to understand that pound for pound, what we're talking about is how dominant these guys have been throughout their careers. Pacquiao has been dominant in his career. Klitschko dominant in his career. Mayweather dominant in his career. And so this is an amazing, amazing matchup, and that's why it's so big. On top of that, the styles make it extremely intriguing. That Pacquiao is clever, he's quick, and he's always busy. And Floyd Mayweather is clever, he's quick, and he's very accurate. So these things make for just the fight of the century, and that's why this fight is so big. And fight fans all around the world, you are just licking your chops, and people who are not even fight fans of boxing, getting into boxing, starting to look at it because of the incredible attractive force this fight poses. Two very agile fighters, two very quick fighters. We know it's going to be exciting no matter what anybody says. It's going to be an exciting fight. The question really remains, who will win? So you guys have a great one.